On this episode of O'Fallon Matters, stay safe during spring flooding. Then find out what's new at the St. Charles County Veterans Museum. And meet up with an O'Fallon resident who is making a difference in our community. All this and more next on O'Fallon Matters. The St. Charles County Veterans Museum has been known to bring tears to the eyes of veterans who visit. Let's learn more about this inspirational gem located in the heart of O'Fallon.
The St. Charles County Veterans Museum is celebrating their 2-year anniversary. The museum was the dream of Ralph Borelli. Part of his dream was to educate school children about the sacrifice made by our veterans, and to remind all that visit the museum that freedom is never free. And there is no doubt that Ralph's dream is now a reality.
Our mission at the St. Charles County Veterans Museum is to honor our local area veterans. We're not here to tell the stories of the wars. We're here to tell the stories of these individual brave people that sacrificed their lives in some cases, or just a period of their lives for the freedoms that we take advantage of every day. So we're here to tell their stories, to be the spokesman for them.
In fact, the museum continues to add new exhibits that tell the stories of St. Charles County veterans who served and also those who died in service to our great nation.
One of the areas that we've been able to expand on is some of the artifact donations and stories for our killed in action veterans. For example, we've got 3 young veterans, Andrew Rankin, Keith Hipkins, and Floyd Hartwick. All 3 of them were in the Marines and were killed very shortly upon getting in Vietnam. And so we've got a really nice display on them and some of their artifacts. We also have a display for a female WAC, Women of the Army Corps, Marcia Fisher, and she wanted to join the military because she wanted to be a police officer, and they wouldn't hire her unless she had some experience. So she used the military as a way to gain that experience so that she could then become a police officer, which she did most of her 32 years of working in her life.
Once you walk through the doors of the museum, you'll be greeted with a variety of exhibits. Each exhibit features interactive ways to connect with a soldier's journey.
When you come here to the museum, you can have your experience several different ways, however you want to have it. If you want to have a person, one of our local veterans or volunteers, lead you around with the tour and give you some of those stories orally, we can do that. Some people don't really like that. They like to just kind of mosey around on their own. And so what we've done is we put little QR codes on each of the display cases. And if you take your cell phone, you open up your camera, and you just have the camera focus on it. You don't take a picture, but just focus on it. It will actually take you to our website, stcharlescountyveteransmuseum.org, and it will pull up that person's story. And you can just read it. And we also have some binders that we put out with each of those people's stories, and you can read that here as well. And what's in the binder is on our website.
Not only can you tour the St. Charles County Veterans Museum, but you can also experience special events throughout the year. Find out more about all the special events that take place at stcharlescountyveteransmuseum.org. And finally, the museum is open Thursday and Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Anyone who lives in O'Fallon knows the character of its community. And despite the challenges brought on by the pandemic, the generosity of O'Fallon residents remains constant. When the pandemic hit, the first question from many O'Fallon residents was, how can I help? Well, one O'Fallon teenager and his family used their free time to make face masks for the City of O'Fallon's frontline employees.
I wanted to help any way I can, especially because it's COVID. I know a lot of people are making face masks, but I wanted to do these because these were sort of unique and also have their own specific use. So what we did was, on some of them, the corners are a bit rounded off. This one isn't because it's already a little bit rounded. This is hanger wire, this gray thing here. So what we do is, quite simply, glue the tab divider to the hanger wire, let that sit for a bit, let it dry. Then we have this foam here. We put 2 layers of it so you have enough space. You know, let's say someone like me, I'm wearing glasses, have a bit of extra space. And then we also put a decent amount of Velcro to accommodate, you know, anybody who has a bit of a smaller head, a bit of a bigger head, so on and so forth.
Great communities step up to support each other in times of crisis, and it all starts with people like Yash taking initiative.
I'm a kid, and you know, I have a lot of people helping me in my life, you know, my parents, friends, teachers, all of that. So I figured the least I could do is figure out some way to help other people. Really all I'm doing is doing anything I can to help any way I can. So Pure is this organization. There's multiple different subdivisions. There's Pure Femme that deals with helping girls in poorer places. There's Pure Youth, which I'm a part of, which is a youth-led team. There's 34 chapters in the US. I'm one of the co-directors for the St. Louis chapter, which started back in October. And basically what we do is, again, just doing anything we can to help. So we have our website, pureonline.org. It has all of our information. There's also a tab you can click to get to Pure Youth, and then you can find our chapter. There's a separate section for our chapter. We also have an email you can reach us at if you want to donate, you want to join us, anything, even to spread the word. Helping people is what we do, and if you are like us and you just want to help people, this is a way you can do it. You can help, again, by just spreading the word so that other people who want to help can find us. You say there's an organization you want to help, but you don't exactly know how, just send it our way. I'm willing to bet we'll be able to plan something up to get them the help that they need.
Yash only wants people to help each other, so try to find some act of kindness that you can do today, like volunteering, giving blood, or just saying hello to a passerby. Or just smile. Kindness and generosity are contagious too, and they're also another great reason to live in O'Fallon. The requirements to be a paramedic are demanding, so it's not an undertaking or a career choice to be taken lightly. Watch this story to find out what it takes to be a paramedic.
Being a paramedic takes years of training and dedication. Once you're trained, you'll be able to revive a patient, stabilize the heart, and take over breathing for the critically ill. And deciding to become a paramedic is not an easy decision. But for those who decide they want to be a paramedic, training and education is right here in St. Charles County.
So for someone that's maybe perusing paramedicine and thinking about it, you can be the difference between life and death. You can get out from behind a desk. You can be one day in the back of an ambulance treating someone that had a fall, or it can be the next day of someone that suffered a cardiac arrest, and really anything in between. You can be the decision maker, you can work autonomously, and you can use advanced skills that are seen in the hospital systems as well.
The St. Charles County Ambulance District offers 2 classes that will help aspiring paramedics reach their goals. And it all starts with EMT training.
In order to be a paramedic, you have to start with EMT, and that's Emergency Medical Technician, and that's a semester-long program that sort of gives you the bare necessities. It goes through all the different basics of what you might expect as being a paramedic moving forward.
Once you graduate EMT training, you can then move on to paramedics.
Okay. That program is going to be a lot more intensive. It's not only going to focus on the fundamentals, it's also going to build from there. It's going to start introducing some invasive skills. The clinical side, the patient assessments is going to get more involved. People really become practitioners at that point. They move from a technician over to a clinician or a practitioner.
Students who successfully complete all components of the program will be eligible to take the National Registry of EMT's written and practical exams. After the student passes both exams, he or she will be eligible for a license as a paramedic in the state of Missouri.
Once into the system, you can expect the opportunities to be endless. Anywhere from being a SWAT paramedic to a critical care paramedic to mobile integrated health, over to our CERT program, you really can start supplementing the sort of the core of what we do as being a traditional paramedic, and you can branch from that point on.
If you are interested in certification in EMT and paramedic training courses offered by the St. Charles County Ambulance District, you can go to sccad.com for class description and times.
I would tell you that there's no 2 days that are the same. And so if you can think on your feet, if you like patient interaction, if you like pushing the needle forward in terms of the clinical side of things, EMS is done pre-hospital. And so there's a lot of autonomy that's afforded to paramedics, and it really gives you a broad range of being able to critically think through a lot of different circumstances.
Now on O'Fallon Matters, Officer Gene Delaney joins us with some tips on how to stay safe during spring flooding.
Extreme weather can hit us at any time. It can be unpredictable, and when and where it strikes is out of our control, but we can control how we prepare for and react to it.
For flooding, one of the best things that you can do is to be aware of the flood danger to where you live. Have a plan in the event that there is the impending of a flood. All right, know your evacuation route if you are told to evacuate. And before that, have a kit put together of some essential supplies you'll need with you. It's recommended that you have about a 3-day supply of food, clothing, and a gallon of water per person per day. So if you're told to evacuate during a flood, you want to evacuate immediately. You don't want to be driving through any water, whether it's standing or rushing water. You don't know how deep it's going to be. As little as 6 inches of moving water can sweep an adult off their feet, and as little as a foot of water can cause a car to become dislodged from the road and sweep it away. If you're out, especially on foot and walking, you really want to avoid the water because you don't know what's in the water. Some of the things you really need to have with you in addition to your kit and supplies is going to be stuff like documents, anything you would need to charge your electronic devices, because you don't know where you're going to end up. If it's going to be a long-term flood situation, you could end up at a shelter, a hotel, it could be anywhere. So you're going to need to be prepared to be able to take care of yourself for at least a couple of days. With flooding, when it's time for you to come back to your property, to your home, one of the things you've got to be aware of is that this flood water could have come from anywhere. It could have passed through a lot of different places, so you're going to have chemicals probably in there, you're going to have a lot of debris and garbage in there, you're going to have bacteria in there, and there's going to be animals in there too. It's a possibility you're going to have things like snakes and stuff in the water. So when you go back into your home, you have to be aware of that, and you're going to need to make sure if you're going to be doing a cleaning that you have heavy boots or shoes on, heavy clothing, wear some thick gloves, and just to be on the safe side, have some type of like rubbing alcohol or antibiotic, just in case you get cut or scraped. It's very easy to get an infection in an environment like that. If you want more information on flooding, you can go to the emergency management page for O'Fallon, the emergency management page for St. Charles County, or you can go to National Weather Service, the FEMA webpage, or ready.gov.
This department assures that citizens receive a fair and impartial day in court. Let's learn how Municipal Court makes our community a safe place to live, work, and play.
O'Fallon Municipal Court is a division of the Circuit Court of St. Charles County. They handled traffic and other ordinance violations primarily filed by the O'Fallon Police Department, Animal Control, and Code Enforcement officers.
A lot of times this is the very first time anybody has the opportunity or has to be in front of any type of a court or municipal court, circuit court. You may not know this, but in the state of Missouri, municipal courts handle more cases than any other court in the state of Missouri. And I'm very proud of how the city of O'Fallon's municipal court is run. We have one of the best court administration teams there is. It really makes my job easy.
Municipal Court is made up of 2 judges, a court administrator, deputy administrator, 2 court clerks, a warrant clerk, and a cashier. Each team member performs an important role, and you may be interested to know that court is more than just in-person sessions.
Court,
obviously fluctuates on the filings. So sometimes some months are heavier than others, but court volume, day-to-day operations are always the same. We still have reporting to the Department of Revenue. We still have statistical reporting to finance. We have disposed of cases that we are required to send to other agencies. We have records requests for people that are doing background checks. So we have a lot of day-to-day operations that keep staff very busy, and then obviously are prepared for the next coming docket, which are 1 to 2 a week.
It's always the goal for municipal court to treat citizens who appear in a timely, courteous, and efficient manner.
I want everybody to be treated fair, clear, and understand what is happening to them and their rights. If they're treated fair, they will leave here understanding why the process is necessary.
We are here and open. We want to be available for anyone within the city to understand the process, but the key is that we are here to serve those that need the help.
The job never stops in courts. Jeff's team processes over 10,000 cases a year, and his team enjoys serving the residents of O'Fallon along with the day-to-day tasks that make the department run.
I enjoy the shuffling of paperwork, the assisting customers with questions, and also having a large workload on my desk and working through it to get it cleared off. I enjoy helping those that come to court. Court is not necessarily a place where people like to visit, so I try to make it as straightforward and quick and as seamless and easy as possible. And I hope to do that with a smile on my face.
So if I'm here on a daily basis where I can give defendants or citizens any kind of assistance that will help them in their future endeavors to make them a better person, to get them driving on the roads in a safe and legal aspect, that helps us all.
What I enjoy is that there's a lot of moving parts to the court process, from the time that the ticket gets filed to the time that they come to court. And there's a very interesting process, and there's a lot of new things that I learn almost on a daily basis. So it's neat to kind of see from the beginning to the end and just to see how the process flows.
Our courts crew takes pride in helping residents fix any issues they may have with a violation.
A prime example is many years ago I had a defendant that had been coming through the over and over and over, and he just needed a change. And I saw that he needed a change. So I got with the judge and we put him on a plan that if he stayed out of trouble for 12 months and paid his monthly payment, that the rest of his stuff would be disposed of. And so we gave him a break. 4 years later, he called me to thank me for that. So it's just helping those that need help, that don't know where to go.
It's good to know that O'Fallon's Municipal Courts Division is providing a forum for justice that ensures all citizens are treated fairly and equally without discrimination while abiding by all guidelines and laws.
We have probably one of the best leadership, and that is in Jeff and how he runs our court administration. I never have to worry about what's happening in the municipal court on a day-to-day basis. The relationship between the entire staff is very friendly, but also extreme pride in the city of O'Fallon and making sure it's done right, and that's important to me as well.
Thanks for joining us today. If you have a good story idea, please let us know. Email us at OFallonTV@o'fallon.mo.us. And remember to give back to your community, because O'Fallon matters to all of us.